Hey, Viking fans, this is Keith Millard, and you are listening to the One Bar and Lupicus Show. Go Vikes!
All right, welcome back to the One Bar and Lupicus Show. I'm One Bar, and a little bit of a new series, a little bit of a new wrinkle this week, which we'll probably be doing maybe weekly, maybe every other week. We will see. But we're going to be checking out the pulse of the NFC North as far as when it comes to the Lions, Packers, and Bears. And while Lupicus and I could hop on and pull stuff out of our ass, why not go directly to the source? So we got some special guests joining us for a very brief, quick pulse check on each of their teams. We got Micro Mike from Detroit Lions Talk joining us. We got Ryan from Packernet Podcast joining us, and also the Windy City Productions joining us to rep the Bears. So it's going to give us a good idea of especially Vikings fans who are trying to claw their way up, maybe get to the top. We'll see. Maybe these guys will give us hope. Maybe they will dash our dreams. But as always, check out the links to their channels as well down in the description. And here we go.
This is Micro Mike, and yes, when it comes to the pulse of the Detroit Lions, it's a mixture right now. Obviously, we're 0-3. With that said, we did fight the Baltimore Ravens tooth and nail, almost won that game with a killer soul crusher of a 66-yard field goal that gave us the L. But we're going to Chicago on Sunday. Chicago did not look good last week, and the Lions fans believe finally that the Detroit Lions could potentially get a win on Sunday against the Chicago Bears. That would put us finally in the win column with the new regime of Dan Campbell. That's exactly what the fans want to see, is a win. They want to see the young players step up, like the linebacker Derek Barnes, and see this team take that next step. We seem to be fighting for the coaching staff. That's one thing that fans wanted to see. And right now, we've seen they're fighting, but they want to get that win. So we got to go to Chicago and face a team that just got beat. And it's not like we're definitely going to beat the Chicago Bears just because they are having a bad week last week and they haven't done so great with their one win. Because look, the Lions are 0-3. But the optimism is there. The hopium is high. The Lions to get finally a win in Chicago, and to have the players finally have something to hang your hat on. Our offensive line, very good. We feel like our defensive line can penetrate the offensive line of the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears O-line is a little bit shaky right now, and with the emergence of the Lions D-line and a little bit better with the linebacking core, we're hoping to at least shake up Justin Fields, rookie quarterback of the Bears, so he can turn the football over a little bit and the Lions can get a win on the road at Chicago.
All right, guys, so I want to give you a quick overview of the Green Bay Packers. Obviously sitting at 2-1 right now, got off to a real rocky start against the Saints, losing 38-3. I think the biggest question for us going in, and there's still some lingering questions, but there's a lot of new things. Joe Barry for the defensive coordinator position is a massive one. He has not had any success in the past, so there's a lot of skepticism about that. There's some new pieces on the offensive line. We got rookies and things like that, but also, I think for me especially, there was a big question of how much regression is there going to be? You know, when you have the number one quarterback, number one wide receiver, number one corner, and I think in the second half of the year, according to PFF, we had the number one and number two safeties in football. You got Zadarius playing at a high level. You got all these things that are elite. You have to assume they're going to come down. The question is how much. Is Jair going to be still a top 5, top 10, or was that just a complete fluke? And likewise for the rest of these guys. And so when we saw the 38-3 loss, panic set in. But then against Detroit, 35-17 win, still a little iffy. You know, the defense kind of, you know, even though they gave up 17 points, good amount of questions there, pressure wasn't there, et cetera, et cetera. But the offense got into a rhythm. But I think San Francisco was the biggest confidence boost. Not only did they win in all three phases, the defense stepped up in clutch situations. The offense looked really good for the most part, and special teams, despite one catastrophic kickoff, actually won us the game and looked good the rest of the game. But the biggest thing I think for the team especially is there's a lot of talk, and not even necessarily that it's untrue. I think the team was even starting to believe it. You know, tough locations, tough teams, you know, hard-headed physical football teams, really good head coaches. These are sort of the environments the Packers can't thrive in. You can pick on all these other teams, but you get teams with good pass rushers and good coaching and all that, and they can't win. They rose to the occasion and they won. So it was a very big win. And if they can continue and carry that on, they're going to have a very good season. If that was kind of fluky, then I guess we're still kind of questioning what they can do. But that was a huge confidence boost for the Packers.
Hey guys, this is Rashad from the Windy City Productions talking about the pulse of the Chicago Bears. And the pulse right now is not looking good at all. Okay, we're coming off one of the worst offensive performances I've ever seen in my time watching the Bears, which I've watched many of those. But we only mustered 47 yards of offense in an NFL game. We got sacked 9 times. Rookie quarterback Justin Fields got sacked 9 times, which is obviously not good for his development. So clearly there's a lot of disarray on the offensive side of the football. Okay, our offense has been bad here for the past 3+ years under Matt Nagy. So now there's been a lot of calls for, for firing Matt Nagy, which it makes sense now, right? Like he's had 4 or 5 different quarterbacks, but none of those quarterbacks have been able to be successful in his system. So, Matt Nagy might be gone soon. We don't really know. We have a game against the Lions coming up, which should be a lot easier. So I don't doubt that he can win against the Lions. We probably should get that victory just because the Lions are not a good football team. But long term, it really doesn't mean much because beating the Lions is something that Matt Nagy practically always did, but he just couldn't beat teams like the Packers, good teams in this league. So, our defense right now, talking about the defense, the Bears defense has been looking a lot better though, I would say. So that's probably a positive. So new defensive coordinator Sean Desai has really been getting the most out of his star pass rushers, Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn, which Robert Quinn only had 2 sacks all 2020. He already has 4 sacks on the year. So clearly the Bears pass rush is getting going. Our secondary has been looking a lot stronger too. We have secondary cornerback Jalen Johnson really stepping up. So the defense I'm not worried about at all right now, but our offense, it struggles to score even 14, 17 points. So unless the Bears right the ship on the offensive side of the football, we're not going to be winning many games this year.
All right, this is One Bar. And as far as the pulse of the Vikings, shit, it is going crazy because we just beat Seattle Seahawks at home, ending our 7-game skid against them. The Vikings could go 1-16, and that game is still going to be a wonderful, wonderful moment. But let's get realistic here. Vikings are 1-2. Yes, they were nail-biter losses. They could have won, but they're 1-2, and we got Cleveland Browns coming to town. So the pulse is even getting higher with the fact of just the opportunity of maybe shutting down some naysayers, going out and getting a huge win against the Cleveland Browns, who are a very good team. That said, this could also be a game where all of a sudden the Vikings just get demolished and we have to realize that we do still have some serious issues. Look at the Vikings run defense. They need to pick that up. Our offensive line continues to need to get better. Kirk Cousins is playing out of his mind, as we all know, as far as when it comes to Kirk Cousins. So hats off to him. But a lot of things need to turn around if the Vikings actually want to make a push. But this Cleveland Brown game is going to be a big gauge on that. We are not popping champagne by any means yet. We're still drinking the warm High Life Light that is in our grandpa's garage. But there's a little bit of hope. If we would have been 0-3 losing to Seattle once again, I think the wheels would be falling off. But we'll see what they do against Cleveland. Then we got Detroit after them. So this could be the Vikings' moment to turn this ship around.